Hey Hermits, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dara and today I am going to be sharing all of the unread fairy tale retellings that I need to get to soon. Now I love a retelling. I love a retelling, whether that is a Shakespeare retelling, a mythology retelling, a retelling of a classic, a retelling of a fairy tale, which is the topic we're diving into today. I just love the sort of exploration of something that is so well known from a different lens with like a different spin, new ideas, extra creativity, modernization. Like I just love it. I love it, love it, love it. And what that means, what that translates to is I end up buying a whole bunch. So today I'm going to be talking you through some of the fairy tale retellings that I own that I haven't read yet but really want to. So let's start with the ones that I own physically before moving on to my Kindle stash. Actually, before we get started, what I will say is that I'm not going to give you the synopsis of each of these books. I'll just tell you what fairy tale inspired it, so you'll have like a general understanding of the plot, but I don't necessarily know the reinterpretation that every single one of these retellings offers, so I don't want to give you incorrect information. I'm just going to tell you the fairy tale it's based on and that's it. So if you're interested, you can look these books up. I'll have links to everything in the description box and hopefully join me on the retelling train. So first of all, we have The Snow Child by Yoan Ivy, and this is a retelling of a Russian fairy tale called The Snow Maiden, or I believe the original name is Segnorochka. I'm obviously not pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, The Snow Maiden. Then we have Blanca and Roja by Anna Marie McLemore, and I'm not actually sure what this is the retelling of because I've heard two different things. So I've heard somebody say that it's a retelling of The Ugly Duckling and somebody say that it's a retelling of Swan Lake. So either way, it is a retelling. I just don't have the full 411. And then I also have Dark and Deepest Red, again by Anna Marie McLemore, and this is a retelling of The Red Shoes. Now let's move on to the fairy tale retellings that are haunting my Kindle. Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuzniar, and this is a retelling of The Nutcracker, so a great Christmassy one. Malice by Heather Walter, which is, I believe, a Sleeping Beauty retelling from the perspective of Maleficent. My Name is Rapunzel by Casey Hilton, which is obviously a Rapunzel retelling. The Wild Girl by Kate Forsyth. Now, I'm not sure if I should really include this one because it's technically not a fairy tale retelling, but it's the story of how the Brothers Grimm came to put together their collection of fairy tales, and it sort of tells the story of the six sisters who live next door and who really influenced that collection of fairy tales. And just from everything I've read about it, it just seems like it's very fairy tale-esque, so I wanted to include it too. Plus, this author wrote one of my favourite fairy tale retellings of all time, Bitter Greens, which is a Rapunzel retelling. Gingerbread by Helen Oyeyemi, which I believe is not necessarily a retelling of a full story, but it takes one concept, the gingerbread house from Hansel and Gretel, and builds a new like modern fairy tale around that. House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig is a retelling of one of my favourite fairy tales, The 12 Dancing Princesses. It's one that not a lot of people are familiar with, probably because there is no Disney film associated with it, but I always loved that story, so I'm really looking forward to digging into the retelling. And then we are ending with not one, not two, but three Beauty and the Beast retellings. So first up we have The Beast's Heart by Leif Shallcross. Then we have Entreat Me by Grace Draven. And finally, we have Bryony and Roses by T. Kingfisher. as everybody else also does, I adore Beauty and the Beast, so I know that I'm gonna love all of those. But all in all, I am thrilled about this collection, and going through them again today has really reminded me how much I actually want to read all of these. Oh, I've just seen one more on my shelf. Hold the line. The final fairy tale retelling that I own and have not read yet is Godmother by Carolyn Turgeon, and this is a Cinderella retelling from the perspective of the fairy godmother. So there you have it, all of the fairy tale retellings that I need to read soon, because now I'm really excited to do so. I think I often forget about some of the amazing books I own, just because, like, especially on my Kindle, they're filed away in neat little folders, so I don't always see what I have there that I could be enjoying. But yeah, I am looking forward to definitely picking up one of these soon. If you've read any of the books that I've mentioned in this video, I would love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, don't put any spoilers anywhere public, but let me know which one you think I should start with. And if you have any other fairy tale retelling recommendations that you think I should add to my collection, by all means, pop those in the comments too. So without further ado, I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna leave you, I'm gonna go get reading, and I will see you in my next upload.